This is normally my super neighborhood meeting on super neighborhood number 85, the 4 here in Spring Branch. Anybody that lives in this area, please come talk to me about your civic association. We'd love you to be part of our organization. I'm going to turn this over to Amy Peck tonight. We have an issue in Spring Branch, as you all know about. That's why you're here, the fire on Hollister and Aurora. So Amy, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for allowing us to take over the Super Neighborhood meeting tonight. If you live in Central Spring Branch or really anywhere in Spring Branch, the first Thursday of every month here at 6:30 is the Super Neighborhood meeting. Please come to it because they give great information every single month. So please join us at those meetings. Really great meetings. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I know it was really late notice to come to this meeting, but this was such a huge concern and we wanted to get this meeting as soon as possible because we know that there are a lot of questions about this fire. So before we start, we do have some elected officials to announce who are here. We have Councilmember Plummer's office is here right now. I know that Councilmember Plummer is on her way. She'll be here any second. We also have Greg with Commissioner Ramsey's office over here. We have Manuel with Representative Penny Morales-Shaw over here in the back. And we have HPD as well. Thank you so much, HPD, for being here in the back. And let's see. Jack Valinsky with the Mayor's Office of Citizens Assistance as well. And I'm sure as other people come in, we will be announcing them as well. So tonight we do have our fire chief, Chief Pena, here to address the fire. So I just want to make it clear that the actual origins of this fire, it's still under investigation. So we're not going to talk about that tonight as far as how it started, but I do want to clear up a few things first. That this was not a planned fire. It wasn't permitted by the city of Houston, right? So this wasn't something where, they got a permit to burn all of the trees and the mulch on that property. Now, as far as how it actually started, did someone light a match? Was it accidental? Was it, all of those things? That is under investigation. We don't know the answer to that yet. So we don't want to speculate, what exactly happened. With that being said, just from my perspective, just my opinion, someone still needs to be held accountable. It doesn't matter how or why it started. I think we all agree that someone needs to be responsible for this. When a property owner is cutting down thousands of trees and leaving it stacked for months in the middle of a drought, what do we expect might happen here? So we know that someone needs to be held responsible, right? We're not there yet in deciding who and why and all of that stuff. But the fire obviously is still burning. My neighborhood is right across the street from this. My neighbors are here. So I feel you, I agree with you. I'm frustrated too. So we want to figure out the timeline of how this started, not how it started, but when it started and why the fire is not out yet. So we'll be around also to answer questions. The health department is here as well too to address the air quality concerns. I know that's concerning as well. So we will have the fire chief give kind of an overview. We'll have the health department, and then we'll take questions from the audience. One quick other thing before the chief comes up, it was brought to my attention that several people are here to talk to me about the Bingle Road diet as well. We're not going to address that tonight because that's a whole other topic, but just know that I didn't authorize that. I don't agree with it. I'm trying to stop it. We'll send out an e-blast if we need everyone to mobilize to come to public session and try to stop that. So we'll table that for now, but just know I agree with you all on that issue. So with that being said, we will turn it over to Chief Pena and then the health department, and then we'll take questions from there. Thanks, everyone.
This one better? Sorry, that's my pacemaker. I need to stand back here, I think. So good afternoon. First of all, thank you all for the hospitality, allowing us to be here. My name is Sam Pena, the fire chief for the city of Houston. I want to thank Councilmember Peck for calling this meeting. For calling this meeting so we can discuss the fire out on Hollister Road. With me, I brought my executive assistant chief, Chief Wells. We also have our fire marshal, Chief Martinez, as well as investigators from the fire marshal's office. We have Chief Kennedy, Inspector Udimi. We have our shift commander out here, Chief Sky Eagle, as well as our special operations wildland firefighting group. We have Captain Bo Moreno and Mr. Hagan. I'm not sure if he's here or not. In addition to that, we have members from the health department that are here to answer any questions regarding the air quality. And they'll be coming up here first, but let me quickly bring you up to speed on the fire. This fire came in, was reported to 911 at approximately 5:45 p.m. on Saturday. Our crews got on scene. They discovered it was a large green waste fire. The size of this thing was we estimate about 4 to 5 acres and about 30 feet high in some areas. So it was a large pile of green waste that had been sitting out there for months and months. And what happened is, in essence, the bottom of those piles created, for lack of a better term, some composting, some mulch material. The challenge that we have in this is the complexity of the material that's burning. It's not just one size mulch. As some of our wildland firefighters were explaining, it's a combination. We have stumps that are 30 inches in diameter. We have small granular waste. So it's a combination of all this. In addition to that, there are stumps that are still in the ground. So as you can see here, the black area was what was on fire initially. Since then, what's left as of today, Captain Moreno, is that as of today?
Yes,
what time today?
I took that about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
About 3 p.m. this afternoon, this is what's left. So they're about 2/3 of the way through the extinguishing effort. And what they're having to do is they're pulling material out, they're turning it over, they're wetting it down, and then they're carrying it away for the most part. Now, what I've been advised by the contractors that are out there is that this last third of the material that's left is the most challenging. Not only because of how it's compacted, but the size of materials that are present in that location. We have contractors that are on scene, that are turning this material over and dumping water on it. But as in another mulch type of fire, they can lob water on top of it, extinguish the visible flames, but the fire is still deep seated. It's tens of feet down underneath what is visible. So unless they can get in there, bring this material out, spread it out, turn it over, and extinguish it, this fire, if left alone, can burn for another 2-3 weeks maybe, at least. That's not what I'm saying is gonna happen. We still have contractors out there. The contractors are hired by the landowner, and they're the ones that are taking this material out. They are experts at what they do. It's not somebody that they hired as a side job. They're experts at this. They're removing the material, the unburned material. They're breaking up the material that they can get to, and the other areas are gonna take just a little bit longer. As I said, it's not just about putting the heavy machinery in there and scooping the debris out, because they're running into these large stumps that are still buried in the ground. And so we're gonna continue out there. We do have personnel out there that are monitoring. We're liaisoning with these contractors until this thing is completely extinguished. The fire is gonna be under investigation until the fire marshal's office completes their interviews and their entire investigation. We can bring them up here to answer some questions, but they may not be able to divulge all the information that they have. What I can tell you is that we are retaining the control of that scene until the investigation is complete, to see how it started and if any charges would be forthcoming based on those findings. Let me do this. Let me bring up the health department now to give you their quick briefing on the air quality, and then we will make ourselves available, and any of the staff that's here available to answer any of the questions that you may have. Okay? Lee?
Thank you, Chief Cameron. And thank you for inviting us here today. My name is Win Lee with the Houston Health Department, the Bureau Chief of Pollution Control Prevention. My team have been monitoring the fire since Monday, the 30th. We're a team of environmental investigators, chemists, engineers. So just a quick summary of what happened. We were informed by HFD of the fire Monday afternoon and the need for air monitoring, which we responded to as soon as. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Which we responded to as soon as we got the call. Once we were out there, our environmental investigators monitored with handheld monitoring devices. We looked at PM 2.5, which is particulate matter, which 2.5 is really the size of the particulate matter that comes from the smoke, from the burning. We monitored that because that's what we consider as hazardous, because it's the size, and because the size of it, because how small it is can impact your health, because it goes into your lungs and bloodstream potentially. What we use to compare our readings to is the EPA National Ambient Air Quality Standard, the NAAQS, which is 35 micrograms per cubic meter. So we compare our readings with that to inform leadership, inform HFD and those involved to make decisions whether or not to do messaging or inform the public on necessary precautions. Just a quick rundown of our readings. On Monday, it was relatively low, below that national standard, except for one area. I'm not going to go through all the readings because we took it at multiple sites and I don't want to take too much time. But that data is available to everybody that wants to look at it through my office. You can reach me or through our public information officer. Readings were high the following day in Halloween, on the 31st. It remained high till the 1st of November at one site, and then today it's fallen below the national ambient air quality standard for 24-hour average. Again, that's 24-hour average. We're taking 1 hour sampling to make sure that we can respond and sample as many locations as possible, give you that information. It's not exactly an apples to apples comparison to draw that conclusion because we're not monitoring one place for 24 hours. We don't have the capacity for that everywhere. But we are continuing to monitor throughout this week as well as the weekend. And we have investigators on call after hours that will respond to any complaints of any residents that are having air quality issues or having health impacts. They'll monitor where you're at and give you that information on the spot as needed. And so we'll be available to answer any questions. I know there was a concern about the area schools. We did monitor all 3 elementary schools in the area, as well as the middle school. All the readings were low, and with one around the 35 or 36. So those were readings that we got at those schools. And just a quick recap on the complaints. We had received around 10 complaints from area residents regarding the event, and all of them are being responded to and investigated. And like I said, again, we have investigators on call to answer your phone. If you call tonight, call 311. You should be able to reach an investigator to respond to your concerns.
Okay, really quick, the property owner there is In Town Homes. The contractors that are out there working on the mitigation aspect are Precision Land Clearing and Mitigation and U.S. Fire Pumps. Okay, so they're the contractors that are out there actively working on this mitigation effort. I want to stress the fact that this fire is contained. Okay, there is no hazard of the fire spreading beyond what's already burning here. But the issue is the extinguishment is going to take more labor, more work. They're going to have to get in there, break this apart, spread it out, and then cool it off. The extinguishing agent that they're using or the cooling agent that they're using is water. There's no other chemicals that are being sprayed out there. And again, until we can get the entire thing broken up and access into that, it's gonna stay burning. Our resources, the Houston Fire Department's trucks are not able to gain access into these, so we can't just surround this thing with aerials and dump water in there. We cannot get access in there. That's the reason that the bulldozers and some of the heavy machinery is having to go in there, do the breaking apart, and then set up portable monitors or pumps to extinguish and log water in there to cool the area. So with that, I want to open it up to any questions, council member, unless you have something else before that.